Alright. Well, we're definitely taking a different direction this time with what game we're playing this time around. Yeah, I know that the release of Ace Attorney Investigations is coming out in a few months, and I want to play that on stream. So, when I was looking through the game page on Steam, I ended up finding this game, which was inspired by the Ace Attorney series. Tyrion Cuthbert. Ace Attorney, well, not Ace Attorney, Attorney of the Arcane. And, well, I wanted to try it out. So, here we are. And, also, holy shit, the music's loud. Jeez. The music is very loud. Oh my god. Alright. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get started. This is going to be interesting. 5 cases, classic. Alright, let's start with case 1. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them there are a clash of souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them.
I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword.
Objection!
Oh damn. Oh damn. They actually have that. Oh, they actually have some voice clips in this. Okay. Alright, and I thought the main character would have more of a British voice, but okay. Just straight up, yeah, okay, just flat out his objection and stuff, okay. What voice do I go for this time? I'll just go for a normal voice, I guess. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so?
Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory.
I see. Well, it's funny that you say that.
Oh, so?
Because your entire testimony was a complete lie.
What?
Objection!
Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations cannot be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert.
My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide.
He knows something.
But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders?
Damn it. Damn it. Flinart, you fool. Why couldn't you just listen to me?
Is this the murderer?
Rudolph? Rudolph? I require your assistance.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. By the scared Lord, what did you killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell him that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir.
Episode 1, The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat.
Earlier that day.
You feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer.
Something on my Discord? Okay, we're fine.
Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out.
Ruby Timora, occupation attorney. Okay. Don't worry about me, Mr. Timora, I'm fine.
You've been riding this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump on the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch.
I'm perfectly fine.
If you say so.
You feel the carriage drive over a large bump of the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good as the second time.
On second thought. That's better.
You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't been threatened to come back out.
Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven.
I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here.
You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Together, you've been searching for a man named Hart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissidence against King Olivier for the last few years. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tamora would have with him, but you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Cornhaven. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face and he appreciates your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourself care for a refreshing drink?
Those clothes, they must be from the city. He's happy, and so I can hear his thoughts.
He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical.
Well, I don't need a drink, but...
Miss Tamora glances at you, and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Ah, of course. I have just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I could fleece them for a lot. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your Eye of Horus. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces?
50 silver pieces?
You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. Out of the corner of the eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on the table inside the merchant shop.
Okay, store-bought apple juice. The Cordy merchant. It's suspiciously empty, okay. Notes. Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these notes anytime by opening the toolbar on the top left of the screen. Spells, profile. Tomorrow, Tyrion Cuthbert. Okay, suspiciously empty, alright. Settings.
Oh, oops, I skipped on accident. Normally the price wouldn't even matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark.
Ooh.
Argument.
Arguments. You started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you don't need to respond to. That you need to respond to, sorry. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. Once you run out of confidence, you'll lose the argument. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made?
It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course.
I only trade organic products.
In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products.
Presenting during arguments. For certain claims, you need to present a piece of evidence to refute that claim. To proceed, present the piece of evidence that contradicts your opponent's claim. Store-bought. Okay. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why do you have something like that if you only deal with organic products?
Oh, how did that get here? Make no mistake, I only have that because I wanted to show how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product.
What an obvious
lie.
This juice is far more worth than I'm offering you.
Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal.
Interpreting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. Okay. Logic, choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts something in your notes. Intuition, choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts their claim. Empathy, if your opponent's emotions contradict their claim. Okay. This juice is fun. Okay, it's not emotion. It's probably intuition. I only saw this stuff for 5 silver pieces so fast. Okay. Intuition. Sir, it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 silver pieces.
What? How did you? Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man.
Right. Okay. I'm so thirsty.
Out of the corner of the eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flask of apple juice.
How about 20 silver pieces for 3 flasks?
Oh, of course, sir. The Kingdom of Wivengard. Established several centuries ago by the 7 High Archmages. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de Wivengard, and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness. A land where its people share the wealth and succor provided the kingdom's magic.
Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years.
The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor the kingdom is sharing.
I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics.
Well, I suppose I just have good intuition for this sort of thing.
Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, the others will be able to see you through as well.
Oh, right click. Oh, it goes straight to the box. Okay. Right.
Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place.
Wait. This is the McCoy Tavern?
With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for dissidents. But now you think about it, maybe that's the entire point.
The tavern's been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flint Hunt just uses it to host his rallies. Although, do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long.
Gruff man.
Hey, you lot. The McCoy Tavern is closed.
A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He is eyeing you and Miss Tamora, a clear look of content look on his face.
I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy.
I am. What of it?
Unemployed. Flintheart McCoy.
Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Tamora. I wanted to speak with you.
Ruby Tamora? Wait, the Ruby Tamora?
Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh, as if he was meeting an old friend.
Why didn't you say so? Come on in.
You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Tamora, but you suppose it makes sense. They both fight against the same enemy, albeit in different ways.
Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... Well, anyways, what brings you here? I take it you didn't journey all this way down to see my wrecked tavern.
I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere we could talk more privately?
Sure. The kitchen is empty.
Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy.
What? Don't you need my help?
There's no need for that.
Like hell, there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her.
Ooh, she's giving us a look of dread.
You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away from her. You spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. It's already been hours since Miss Tamora and Flintheart went to dock in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here, you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated.
Looks like they're going to be looks like they're going to be a while. Okay. Okay, that's a weird way of wording it.
Well, it's a good thing you always bring your chess set around. You bring out a small chessboard that you carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that.
Checkmate.
You win against yourself. This time is black.
I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black.
Hello.
Statistically, mine is more likely to win.
Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud.
So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello?
You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them.
Am I becoming overconfident as white because it has the first move advantage? Perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If it doesn't work, it's making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! What? How long have you been standing there?
It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now.
Oh. Sorry.
Do you know where my dad is?
Your dad?
Flintheart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste.
Well, she's a mercenary. Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now.
I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done?
I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now.
You hear Flintheart and Miss Tamora's voices getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard.
This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone?
Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually.
That's...
You feel a judgmental stare.
Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it.
Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself.
That's...
Relax, I'm just joking. Anyway, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game?
Oh, you know how to play?
Sure. I've read about this before.
She's read about it?
This table's so dusty.
Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them confused.
How do I arrange these again?
The part of you requests accepting a challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now.
Here, I'll arrange them for you.
Thanks.
And checkmate.
You defeat her in 2 moves.
Wait, what? Already? How did you do that?
You decided against telling her what the name of that mate was.
Rematch me. I want a do-over.
Sure, why not?
It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move, but she hasn't realized that the game is already finished.
Here.
She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on her king, but
Checkmate.
a scholar's mate this time.
What? Come on, how did you do that?
Look at the closed door to the kitchen. Flintheart and Mr. Moore's discussion is becoming louder. It doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon.
Again, I'll definitely beat you this time.
For someone who clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. But the way she's playing now, she can even defeat a nationally ranked noble.
Checkmate.
But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has.
How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind.
As if you ever need to.
Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert.
Mr. Moore emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. It looks like the negotiations didn't go well.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, hello, sweetie. Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. What's this, some kind of game? Mr. Moore glances at the piece of the board.
Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit?
No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney.
An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way.
Aye, sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends.
Oh, sadness.
Oh, it even sees our arcane art. Oh, it reveals our arcane art transmutation. Okay. I think from the previews they involve like different schools of magic, like in D&D. So I think that's just one of them.
You wonder what he meant by that. Was Mr. Moore trying to introduce him to one of our clients?
Anyways, it's getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning.
She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late.
I guess you have a point.
Plenty of empty rooms that you could stay until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way.
Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready.
Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to go get your rooms ready. You're left in the dining room with Miss Tamora.
So, I take that the negotiations didn't go well.
No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages.
Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help.
It wasn't important and your presence was not necessary.
That's such an obvious lie, but you can't read a single thought from her mind. She has years of practice hiding her thoughts from the eyes of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs, but she seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Tamora.
Sorry to interrupt, but your room's are ready now. Right.
Thank you.
An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Tamora head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the 2 rooms that Celeste has prepared for you. Miss Tamora stops before entering her room.
You were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good?
She doesn't have an arcane art? Okay. Oh, I don't have an arcane art as well. I don't have one either.
Not at first, but she's got a lot better as we kept playing.
I'm sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long.
No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoy playing against her.
I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age.
No, it's not anything like that. It's just that, outside of tournaments, I never really got to play against another player. And you only ever wanted to play shogi against me.
Because shogi is clearly superior.
It's complete anarchy, that is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer.
It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess.
You sternly look at each other. Your position's already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing.
I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there's some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day I'll tell you everything.
Right. I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney.
You are. I know you are.
The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard.
Anyways, let's get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow.
Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in the protest. You lay in bed with the McCoys prepared for you, and as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. You see a woman in the far distance. She is staring directly at you.
What presence?
She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you?
Finally found. I finally found you, Heavensborn!
You're jolted wide awake. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you, but whatever her words are, they send a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour.
Calm down. It was just a dream.
At least that's what you're trying to tell yourself.
But please, just let me explain.
I don't want to hear it.
You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour?
I want you out of my house. Out!
A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever slams the door behind them.
What was that all about?
It's none of your business. You only met those 2 today. It would probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. And you tell yourself that. A brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind.
Damn it.
You slowly make your way out of your room, but then in the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. You run into Flintheart, who was slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness.
Sorry, I just heard.
Right. I forgot you two were.
His words trail off.
Is everything okay?
Sad and panicked. Or anxiety or something.
Sorry, I'm just going to...
You awkwardly shimmer should be past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is.
Celeste? Are you still there? Here?
You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance.
Celeste?
No answer.
Celeste? Where are you?
The merchant you spoke with before steps out from his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, you're that kid from before. Do you have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this.
Right. Sorry. I was just looking for Celeste.
Who?
Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter.
The merchant's expression becomes a little colder.
Do you know them?
What do you want with that bastard? That damn mage.
What?
Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm going to call the town guard. Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching.
I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this.
I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart.
You!
Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Look so.
What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home?
You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking.
And what? You came all the way here to convince me to stop?
You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family.
Huh, your word is good as the dirt you lick off King Olivier's boots. As if I ever trust the words of a murderer like you.
Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm going to ask you one time.
Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call you the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense.
Oh, he's gonna die. Unfortunately, I don't think you have much time for anything.
Ugh.
Damn it. Damn it. Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you just listen to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir. By the scared lord, what did you... You killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir.
You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However, as long as it's been, it's clearly taken a toll on you. Where is she?
What am I going to do now?
You hear a faint voice. Could it be?
Oh,
As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are, probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile.
I've been looking all over for you.
oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up?
Yeah. Is everything okay?
It's nothing. It was just an argument.
Anxiety and sadness. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business. You decide not to pry further.
Have you been looking for me all this time?
I have.
Thank you, but I'm okay now. You should head back.
What about you?
I think I'm going to stay out a little longer.
You know that you should mind your own business, but
I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Mr. Moore and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we are able to talk through it. Sorry. I know it's none of my business, but I just...
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Happiness, sadness, and anxiety. Mixture of things.
You're right. Let's go back.
What?
you're right back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor.
Is that... the Inquisition?
What?
The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic.
As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste glance at and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin.
She is a mercenary and I'm just a lawyer.
What? No! No!
She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears.
What voice do I give to you? I just go with the deep voice.
There she is. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvernguard Crown, I am placing you under arrest. Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, the three other knights rush to grab her before dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between three knights, it's taken all their strength to subdue her.
What are you doing to her? What's going on here?
Tyrion!
Mr. Moore approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay.
Mr. Moore?
Bah, I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of our way.
Mr. Moore, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here?
I'm surprised myself, but from what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered.
Murdered? Thank you, game. Alright.
You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Mr. Mora, Celeste was the prime suspect in the Flintheart's murder. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case will be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic. So why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage?
This is ridiculous. She has the right to speak to an attorney.
Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle. A very frustrating one.
What voice do I give for like a general knight?
We can't let you see her until she's been processed.
Her trial's in an hour. How can she not be processed yet?
I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish you could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie.
So, you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer?
I just can't stand there and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that.
I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but...
Attorney Runestone. Magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one, almost like a badge for them. Okay. This is an attorney's runestone.
If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one.
Aye.
You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys.
Don't cry, Cuthbert.
Sorry.
Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you.
Damn it. You knew that they tried to get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. What's with all this noise?
You're the knight from the tavern.
That's Commander Orm White to you, kid. I had a feeling tomorrow will be sniffing around this case, but I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says he wants to talk to the mage. And? She's got a right to attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot.
Yes, sir.
The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. There's something built in the capital that looks extremely old and decrepit.
Oh wow. All the prisoners are sad, angry, and I guess confused?
You pick up negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You always have to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You never felt this much concentrated despair before.
Oh, it's you.
Celeste is lying down on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells, but she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you.
What are you doing here?
Mr. Moore told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry.
I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it?
I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you?
There's no sense in hiding it anymore.
Oh, weird. Oh, that's weird.
Yes, I am.
Do you have noble blood?
Of course not. Why would you say that?
Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood.
I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flynnhard McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself.
It'll probably be best not to push the matter further.
Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage.
What?
A crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time.
Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell.
The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour.
What? No one's told me anything.
Damn it, they weren't even planning on telling her?
If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial.
Right. I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me?
After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing.
They're part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless.
Oh god, the weird visual graphic is, okay. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you.
What?
Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying.
No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this.
It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her. And because of the Inquisition's delays, you have had the time to investigate the crime scene. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you can really do this.
Everything is happening so fast, it feels unreal.
No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste.
A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom.
Actually entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Tomorrow's assistant. Arya Steelwood. Interpretation, okay. 18 years old as a prosecutor? Oh, okay. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Mr. Moore mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwood? You feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working.
Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor.
He doesn't necessarily sound very ready.
Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwood, please list the charges.
The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage.
Okay. Oh, little Arcane interface. Wasn't expecting it to be more sci-fi-ish. Wait, did she just say mercenary?
Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern went down.
Oh, right.
That's not exactly the first occupation you choose.
She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts.
I see. So there was magic involved.
Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim. The defendant's sword was still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword.
Alright, autopsy report. Leonard McCoy, it's a clue. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wounds show heavy traces of transmutation magic and her arcane artist transmutation, so shit. Yeah, it's kinda stacked against us right now, not gonna lie. Celeste's sword. The alleged murder weapon, an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Okay, I can already see a contradiction there.
What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name.
The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown.
I see. What an unfortunate turn of events.
To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
The name's Orm White. I'm commander of the Arcane Inquisition.
Orm, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation?
Yeah.
Witness testimony.
We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who have heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't that really incriminating? One of our possessions is the murder weapon.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank.
Mr. Cuthbert?
Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right?
No, I'm sorry. I don't.
Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating?
What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today, but it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence.
Yup, this place is pretty open and shut.
No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. Okay, I think from now on I'm not going to use the narrator voices. I think I'm just going to use his voice for his actual internal monologue. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty.
What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No. Not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again?
Tyrion,
Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic.
you need to calm down.
Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to...
Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do the same way you play chess.
What?
I don't know, you were just so calm and focused when you were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces.
That doesn't make any sense, and yet... You take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth. Each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle.
My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness.
Very well.
There we go. Thank God that worked.
Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that his testimony is false. Wait, can we not press him for information? Oh, okay. This is not exactly like Ace Attorney. Oh, no. Cross-examinations. You are cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement they made and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Oh, shit. Okay, clue, spell, profile. Okay. Once you identify the false statement, present the contradicting evidence to move forward. I'm gonna save this shit. Oh, I can press for information. Alright, press. At what time exactly did you get this call? And who discovered the body?
The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, you wanted to remain incognito.
It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their right. This would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly.
What happened when you arrived, Commander?
When you arrived, you found Thunder and McCoy down on the floor. The sword was still inside of him. How did you know that the sword was my client's?
Her sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. If you had to mistake something like that.
We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary. She was quite proud to show it off.
But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean she was the one who stabbed her.
Yeah, well...
Several witnesses, okay. How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing?
You were there, weren't you? You had to have heard them too. Every witness we talked to knew it was them.
Well...
Your Honor, it's clear that the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices.
Well, they got you there.
Okay, I think that's the... Okay, so it's all grouped up okay, so it's all grouped up together here. Occupation, bodyguard. Oh, I thought she was supposed to be a mercenary, but I guess mercenaries can be bodyguards. Okay.
Objection!
Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene.
I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon.
What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him.
That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body?
What?
To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane.
That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body?
Yes, I find that quite strange as well.
Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward.
The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damned mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic.
That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab her with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself.
What?
Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what's left of the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic.
What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell companion has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound.
So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade.
A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means you can only cast that one spell.
Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you?
No, I left it at the tavern after. Well, you know.
If you can't look at the description at the Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him.
Bring it on.
Pressing statements during cross-examinations, you can press statements to acquire more information. Sometimes pressing the right statement can make a witness add a statement to their testimony. Yep.
Can still be channeled through it. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword?
There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object.
Mage Blade. Mage Blade?
It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor.
You didn't realize that she had led such a lethal lifestyle.
But anyway, wouldn't it be excessive for the defender to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of the death.
The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all.
That theory is a little far-fetched. But you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. But why would she go into the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder.
Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander?
We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary?
You don't. Yet.
Alright, press that. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground?
How so?
Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside of him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it.
We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just as like you said.
Oh.
If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here.
Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention?
There was no need. The entire case is open and shut.
Crime scene picture.
Alright. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you knew.
Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But the shape is a little weird, isn't it? Oh? What was that just now? She killed him with a stab in the front. But he was stabbed from behind. Okay, yeah.
Objection!
Objection!
I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you presented another glaring contradiction.
Oh yeah? And what's that?
You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct?
Yeah, you can see it plain in the picture. So where's your contradiction?
That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report says that he died from a stab from behind.
What?
Objection!
Orin, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me?
There was no need. There was no need. No way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such a blatant incompetence. Such blatant incompetence. You have the right. You have them right where you want them.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this?
I'll tell you what the meaning behind this, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created.
That's crazy. Do you honestly expect us to believe that?
Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you still got ahead of yourself.
Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case.
Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flinhard McCoy, then who did?
How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out.
Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence, but one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town?
You don't like where she's going with this.
Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town, and that mage is your client.
What?
The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing.
Well, shit.
How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question.
I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant.
Damn it,
You almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct an investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned.
Hello, Cuthbert.
As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you are greeted by Mr. Mora.
Mr. Mora, you're here?
You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that.
Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this.
Oh, her spell compendium. Woohoo! Oh, and Mage Blade. Ah, so that's the spell. It's a transmutation spell. Arcane's the okay. No gesture, duration 1 minute, concentration yes. Ah, classic D&D elements. For the duration of the spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target must be no larger than a 50-foot cube. Oh, the sword, okay, I see. Ah, classic D&D mechanics. Well, D&D-esque mechanics.
My spell compendium? I swiped in from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it.
So, this is your spell compendium. Only has one spell.
Mage Blade.
This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell.
It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else.
You mean Prosecutor Steelwind?
You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it.
You wouldn't even know it. But this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take higher-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that.
Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before.
In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until the court resumes. Right. Not that I have the time.
Oh, right. Now that I have the time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father.
Oh.
You see the bailiffs staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait.
I should probably go.
Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up the argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve.
I also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something.
You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice.
Right. There's still a lot of things we don't know about.
As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of dedication far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you.
Thank you.
You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you could magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene.
I'm the defense attorney in this case. I just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do.
Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid.
I was wondering if I could ask some questions about the case.
Huh, as if I helped the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That witch probably sent you here to con me.
What? I'm just looking for some information.
A likely story.
He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll need to persuade him through an argument. Psychological profiles. It helps prepare before starting an argument with someone. Like, talk to him or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you'll receive more information during arguments against him. Ah, okay. The Inquisition. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly?
You trying to pick a fight with me?
No, I'm just genuinely curious.
Well, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic.
Do crimes like this happen often?
Nah, maybe once in a blue moon.
Makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job then.
Huh, you got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He doesn't seem quite happy about that.
Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages?
You're damn right I do.
Wow, you didn't even try to deny it.
And if you have any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense, and then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. And don't get me started on mage blight. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage.
I don't know if this is going too far. Why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Concerning the fact that,
that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug?
Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate.
Nope, you have the right of it. Anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way.
You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work?
Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after nobles, but any other mage is a fair game. Or at least, they were before your boss showed up.
Your boss? Does he have something against Miss Tamura? I have to ask, did something happen between you and Miss Tamura?
Huh, Miss Tamura. What are you, her lackey or something?
No, actually. She's my guardian.
Oh. I didn't even know she had a... Look, kid. I don't know what the deal is between you two. But no goodwill will ever come from associating with her.
This is about the rumors, isn't it?
Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors about Miss Tamura. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of legal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid.
She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero.
Yeah, whatever.
Alright, completed. Oh, sweet. Oh, okay, I have to click that, okay.
There's a chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. This is probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here. It's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it.
Oh, I do. Adam Evele, politician of the Pendantic.
I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they're going to have there.
An election? Was for not starting democracies for his little revolution? painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Samala Daglian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts. He's mysteriously disappeared someday. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Daglian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident, but if that's true, where did he end up?
Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic.
That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's some magical lamp right there. I wonder why they're not using those instead. Oh, that's covered too, okay. There's a modern-looking lamp mounted on the wall. It's a lamp powered by artificery. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this.
Bah! Artificery is just another form of magic.
Actually, artificery draws from the surrounding ley lines to—
I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid. Anyways, look where the artificery got these from. The arcane power cell broke and they haven't had powers for weeks. Yup, nothing can beat a good oil and flame.
Broken cell. Power cell. The McCoy Inn is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the Arcane's power cell has been broken for weeks and the lamp can't be turned on. Okay. McCoy Tavern upstairs. Inquisition Barracks, wrong courthouse. Okay, I'm gonna try and argue.
Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you, and you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up his misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you.
Bring it. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Commander White is stubborn and is stuck in his ways. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby Tamura and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend against personal attacks. Okay. Gotcha. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White?
You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you?
Ruby Tamura is a crooked lawyer. Is a crooked lawyer.
Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to?
Elocutions in arguments. Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince your opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of the three possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading from your opponent's psychological profile. Defend, deflect, rationalize. Okay. Is a crooked lawyer, so I don't defend. You have no right. Regardless, I'm the one heading this case. I think rationalize. I think I'll go with rationalize. It doesn't matter how you feel about me or Mr. Moore. What matters is my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. Oh, I already said that. All I'm trying to do is give that to her.
I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it.
You're just another crook.
I bet you're just the same, a successor of the devil of defense attorneys.
Okay, well I can defend from personal attacks, so... So I can defend myself, okay. If you defend yourself against personal attacks, okay. I'll go defense. I'm not Ruby Tamura. It doesn't matter if the rumors are true or not. Regardless of what you've seen or do, I'm going to run an honest case.
Look, kid, I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better.
I have no reason to trust you.
Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook.
You have no proof that she's a crook, and you should... Deflect, defend, rationalize, okay. No. Nothing that I've done has given you to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? I think I'll go deflect. Right now I'm just a defense attorney that's asking you for information. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me.
You just want some info, right?
Yes, that's all I'm asking for.
Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. You've successfully persuaded All Might.
This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that sword is the murder weapon.
Right. I guess you have to prove that to someone else put the sword there.
Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene?
If you're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't.
That would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it?
But let's say that the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it.
Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern?
Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well.
Or did they hid it in plain sight? Or interesting. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation.
Oh, shut it with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation.
Wait, does she have the authority to do that?
Normally she wouldn't, but I know better than go against orders from a noble.
Right. There's definitely a strange power dynamic between them.
But honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene.
Wait, really? Do you have a copy?
Sure, knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do to you, do you?
Okay. I'll look at my evidence. Okay. Oh my god. This is giving me waves of nostalgia. Yeah, this definitely feels like a D&D map. This definitely feels like a proper D&D map. Cause look at the squares, the cube. Yeah, all the 5-foot squares, the props. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, yeah, it reminds me of the good old D&D days. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in a D&D campaign. Or even DM'd one, that's for sure. I plan to do so, to host a new campaign in the future in my World of Ancora setting. But I still have a lot of writing to do for that. Okay. Shattered bottle, stabbed, lots of green. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must have been pretty talented if that's true.
A pain in my ass is what she is. That damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work.
I heard that she's from a renowned noble house. She must have been a pretty powerful mage.
Huh, powerful is an understatement. The Steelwinds who came before her could turn this entire town into a glass crater.
What? There's no way that's true, right? What do you think about this?
I don't know what you're expecting me to say. Not much to say about that.
Alright. Map. I can't believe the prosecutors you go into this much detail for a case.
Bah, it's a real headache. Did you know that this map is scaled? It's got a legend and everything.
Wow, the prosecutor must be pretty particular. This place has been without power for about a week. I wonder if there's even any information I can infer from that.
They've been using candles to keep the place lit. This is exactly why you can't rely on magic.
I've never seen a real spell compendium before. I'm still not exactly sure how they work.
Well, spell compendiums are magical devices that display exactly which spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the time.
Right. Having that information is definitely a blessing for the defense and the prosecution.
That mage's sword really is strange. It's almost a shame that we had to confiscate it.
Is it really that abnormal?
It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. I wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms.
The autopsy report seems to be pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that?
I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy report is performed by a mage who studies divination. Their magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots.
Blind spots? Like what?
Well, for one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after death, the report becomes muddled. Divination magic can tell what happened to the body, but not in what order at what times.
Someone definitely stabbed Fenard's body with Celeste's sword. But if what he's saying is true, then it would be much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Oh no, I already presented him with that, okay.
If people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over.
While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument.
Enough. I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land.
Oh, sorry.
Oh? You're the defense attorney from the trial.
I am? I'm sorry, but who?
How rude of me. My name is Lord Gaddock Pierce, the ruling noble of this land.
This nobleman. Ah, and he also has the arcane art of transmutation.
As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial, as misguided as it may be.
I suppose you also think my client is guilty.
It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility and nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye.
All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this.
Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption.
So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent?
What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause a public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as it is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom?
That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it.
What?
The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion.
Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father?
It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals. just as I will fight for mine.
It's hard to get a read on that woman.
Oh. Candles?
There are some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they're used to be part of the old architecture. Several doors leading to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that you and Mr. Moore use, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time. There's a door at the end of the hallway. It looks like it's seen some use recently. You try to open the door, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it.
Is there anything else? Okay. Pretty simple.
You return to the dungeon to speak with Celeste, but when you check the cell that she was being kept in, you see that it's empty.
The Inquisition must be questioning her. I should come back later.
Lit torches are hanging on the wall of the cell. It seems to be a bit irresponsible to put a potentially harmful item in here with the prisoners, but perhaps the Inquisition doesn't care about that. The cell has a barred window. Even a prisoner somehow broke through the bars. There's still a 3-story drop to freedom. There's only one locked door that leads to the cell, and it seems to be locked by some kind of magical mechanism.
Oh, Cuthbert, you're back already.
Sorry, I guess I'm just a little lost about where to go next.
But I suppose I can give you some guidance. This time.
Assistance. Sometimes it helps to speak with someone about the investigation. One character will always be able to assist you. You can speak with them about the investigation or ask them where to go next. Right now, Ruby Tomorrow is assisting you, but who knows? Maybe someone else might be helping you in the future.
You haven't really found anything, have you?
Sorry. I thought I'd just check with you first.
I can't always hold your hand, Cuthbert. You need to move to the crime scene and look for evidence that you can use.
The next lead. Where should I go next, Mr. Mora?
Well, you haven't really gone anywhere. You should really head to the crime scene.
Right, of course.
Okay.
So where the fuck am I gonna get the key? Do I just look? Oh, I just look behind the desk. Or somewhere. Oh, there it is. There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered close to the chalk on the outline of the body.
The label has the words lotus juice on it.
I've never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign.
Okay, you found it next to. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
But what does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found, and there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You're quiet all of a sudden.
Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything disappear from the world.
Hey, you listening?
So there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death.
What?
What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? Well, he didn't move after the fucking murder, obviously. There's no blood trail, okay. Hold on, look at my evidence. Flintheart didn't move after the investigation? No, there was no blood trail to where Flintheart bodies is. The lack of blood of our blood trails tells us something important, namely where Flintheart was throughout the murder. During... Okay. Celeste... No. The killer... attacked Flintheart... before the murder? There's no blood trail. What can we tell about how Flintheart died? Okay. Flintheart... during the murder. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says he died instantly from the stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard as he was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to his body. After the attack. No? Oh, during the attack, I'm sorry. Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it at the moment before he was attacked.
What's so strange about one bottle, though?
It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder.
Right.
There's also the fact that the artificial lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orm?
No, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness.
What can we infer from the state of the crime scene? So they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights. During the murder. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and was probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself. Or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart.
Kid?
Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something?
Kid!
What?
What was that all about?
Sorry. Sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts.
Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out.
Right. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. Okay. Okay, let's try the barracks this time. Alright.
The ambient despair in the air fills your mind like a horrendous stench. You do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in the corner. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment.
Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert.
There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion.
Okay.
Anyways, I came here to ask you some questions about the case.
Right.
I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us at the trial.
No, there's no need to apologize. You did great.
It was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down.
Oh, if she hadn't... It was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened.
But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body?
Right. Those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. The magical traces are particles of magical residues that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when where a spell is cast. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day?
I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning.
That explains why there was a trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on
my sword leave the magical essence on my dad's body?
No. Magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made.
Really? What does that mean then?
Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence.
I can't believe this.
Then McCoy, could you tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened.
No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions.
Were you two close?
We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart until
Until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had?
I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened?
For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if you ever mention magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So I hid my magic from my family.
But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it.
Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic.
So that's why she's a mercenary.
But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I betrayed him and his family.
I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how that must have felt.
I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyways. He showed me so much love, and I just threw it all away.
Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you.
No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me, and he died hating me.
You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought.
So, there's a locked room in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just want to investigate it to make sure.
A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room.
Do you know how I could get in there?
It's the only room in the tavern that
Oh, it's the only room in the tavern I haven't investigated.
You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste.
What's that look for? I'm your lawyer, I'm not gonna do anything weird.
Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside.
Yep, their bedroom key. Your compendium. Mage Blade.
It's a spell that magically sharpens my sword so they can cut through plate armor.
When would you even need to use a spell like that?
Well, it's not just for plate armor. I can cut through all kinds of things with it. Trees, boulders, ballista, fortified gates. It cuts through most things like butter.
You start to wonder what kind of life she led before this case.
Oh. Oh, okay. Can you tell me more about this?
Oh, I don't really. Oh.
Okay. I didn't expect to find out a history in a village like yours.
Yeah, I bought it for my family to make their lives easier. But I think it just made things more complicated.
Yeah, without an arcane power cell, those lights aren't very useful. Can you tell me more about this? Oh, no. This is a pretty strange sword. I've never seen anything like it.
Do you like it? It's a souvenir I got while traveling to the Eastern Kingdoms.
Wait, you've been to the Eastern Kingdoms? I thought Wyvern had a strict policy preventing people from crossing the border.
Well, I didn't exactly enter illegally.
You quickly glance at the card of the cell. He doesn't seem to be listening.
Please don't make a habit of telling people that. You're in enough trouble as it is. Yeah.
My attorney badge. No.
Alright, let's get in there.
You use the key to enter Celeste's room. However, you're startled when you notice someone else is already inside.
I already told you, Knights, everything that I know. What more do you... Oh, aren't you Celeste's attorney?
I am? Who are you?
Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother.
Unemployed.
I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter.
So this is Celeste's mother. She might be able to tell you more about Flintheart.
About that, do you mind if I ask some questions for my investigation?
Of course. I'll do anything I can do to help.
Right? It's a fancy looking bed.
Celeste had it custom made.
Wouldn't something like this be really expensive?
It was. I was really surprised when she returned from her travels. Apparently she was making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary.
Wow, you and Flintheart must have been happy for her.
We are, but I still wish she'd get a less dangerous job.
It's a door leading to the upstairs hallway. It's a table with several chairs. It must have been used for entertaining guests.
It doesn't look like it's seen much use though.
It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal.
Oh, I love that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. Supposedly that woman is named Madeline Kipling. From what I've heard, she runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think the animal in this painting is called a Faykip. Celeste told me that she really likes them.
That's interesting. You weren't aware about these kinds of creatures even existed.
Well, they are endangered.
Anything else? Okay.
Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them, but on that night, it's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage.
Oh, you must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when the argument happened, but I can only imagine what he said to her.
Do you know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much?
Celeste doesn't know about this, but years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When we were children, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce.
Oh,
they were childhood friends with him. He was the son of the ruling noble at the time.
Garrick Pierce, isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier?
We were inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us and against his family's wishes.
They probably weren't too happy about that.
He was quite rebellious back then, but he's a completely different person now. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day when we were playing together, he wanted to show off spells that he'd learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. We tried to bring her back into town, but by that time it was too late. She was already gone.
I'm sorry. That must have been traumatizing for all of you.
The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened the Flynnhart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf.
That's not surprising. The nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Yep.
Something changed in Flynnhart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that he'd gotten under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk about an outright revolution against the kingdom.
That might explain what.
No, I'll do it in his voice. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him.
I knew how much danger he was putting himself in, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste.
Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become part of your family?
It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited for weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her.
And that baby was Celeste?
Yes. Flynn and I always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste must have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flynnhart did too.
Wait, you knew that she was a mage all this time?
I did. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flynnhart must have noticed too, but I think he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth.
I spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage.
There was no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that.
After seeing them together, you figured as much.
Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades that I see him so genuinely happy.
They must have been really close.
More than anything. Do you want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flynnhart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors with some of his revolutionary friends, but in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it.
Is it really that rare?
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only bottle of lotus juice in the region.
Wait a minute. Lotus juice? Is this the bottle that Flynnhart bought?
You showed the picture of the shattered bottle that you found next to Flynnhart's body.
It is! Oh no. He was going to surprise her with it.
I found the broken pieces next to Flynnhart's. Well, I found them in the dining area.
That's strange. You've been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it.
Really? When was the last time you saw it?
Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument.
So it wasn't just laying around in the bar. You decided to retrieve it after the argument. Alright, you think you've investigated everything you can for now. But there's still one last thing you need to do. You ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste.
Oh, you're back. Did you forget something?
Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh?
Earlier you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you. But after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments.
You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone.
He's just trying to lie he's just lying to make me feel better.
But it looks like it won't be that simple. You'll need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth.
I guess no psychological profile to help me this time. Celeste believes that her father has died hating her,
But after seeing them together and learning about them, you know that can't possibly be true. You just need to convince her of that. Yes.
Bring it.
I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it, but everyone knows that my father hated mages.
He hated mages, there's no reason behind it? Okay. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much.
What?
When Finard was a child, he had a younger sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he's had such an immense hatred for magic.
I never knew. That doesn't change anything. It's all the more reason to have him hated me.
It was selfish of me to learn magic.
I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyways. Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious.
Yep, preoccupation. But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. You're a good person, Celeste, and you did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that.
Just shut up.
What?
Shut up. Just stop it.
Whatever composure she had is slowly breaking down.
You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me.
In his final moments, he could only think about how I betrayed him.
I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he could ever forgive me.
The bottle? Take a look at this picture, Celeste.
What? A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice?
Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn.
What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wivengard.
Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he can have it imported for you.
What? He did that?
Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything.
That doesn't change anything. If he did that all for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he would never have done that if he knew the truth.
That's not true at all.
What the hell would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did.
It's not just the fact that he brought that drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered.
What do you mean?
Your mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument, but I found the shattered bottle in the lobby, where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That could only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended.
What? Why would he have it?
It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give it to you, a gift to apologize for what he said to you.
He was going to apologize?
Your father loved you, Celeste. And, as tragic as it is, he was going to try and apologize to you before he was murdered.
I don't like this. My daughter, working as a mercenary of all things.
Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself.
I don't doubt it, but you still shouldn't have learned to risk your neck for our sakes.
They closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this.
Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter, and we'll love you until the day we die.
Dad, how could I ever think that? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Celeste had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hasn't felt warm for any kind of days. You're caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions.
Yeah, get shit on! I won the argument. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time.
She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started.
Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay?
I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't matter who stands in my way, even if they're a man, king, or god.
You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before?
Please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial's going to be resumed soon.
With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what's happened at the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned.
Has Pierce told you all of the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them?
Yes, I pride myself on my eidetic memory.
Just so that there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this.
You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We do not know what sort of tricks Ruby tomorrow might pull tomorrow. Just see it as a way of securing a just verdict. I see. Alright, it's time.
Hello, Cuthbert.
Oh, hi, Mr. Mora.
You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So, what did you find in your investigation?
You tell Mr. Mora about everything you've learned over your investigation.
There aren't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened.
Yeah, I know a lot of details. About the crime scene, but nothing about the crime scene itself. That means I have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witnesses' testimonies.
Being reactive to the prosecution's moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all.
Right, you almost forgot.
The Commander White appears to really have it out for Mr. Mora.
Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White?
Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel.
Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting.
Right.
Another secret is left buried between you two.
Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation.
Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time.
I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease.
At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene and photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push forward the following narrative: that the third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened.
Interesting. It was my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous.
Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer.
So that's her plan. But why would the witness change his mind like that? Did Steelwind persuade him? Or is something else happening here?
Very well. Let's hear from this witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
My name is Reese Reginald Rudolph. I am a chauffier of the equine variety.
I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession.
He means to say that he's a carriage driver.
Oh, I see. But in any case, it's my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph?
Rudolph appears to be writing something in his notebook. He writes with an incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second or before he's filled an entire page.
Mr. Rudolph?
Ah, forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room.
Taking notes?
The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses.
I see. Then I assume you will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body.
Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw.
What? That is quite the claim. If that is true, why did you choose to remain silent until now?
We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for this testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial.
There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimonies from the start. Something else is happening here.
Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night.
I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room.
Oh, I already saw the contradiction.
She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into a sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's chest, and as he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again in the front. As soon as she realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime, she let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene.
Incredible. If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate.
Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable.
You don't remember seeing him when you were left to look for Celeste, but it was pretty dark.
Celeste, did you see that man that night?
No, this is the first time I'm meeting him. And I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night.
So he has to be lying.
Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad?
She tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness.
It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility.
The defense
may now begin their cross-examination.
Easy. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so?
Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory.
I see. Well, it's funny that you say that.
How so?
Because your entire testimony was a complete lie.
What?
Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert.
My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificery devices that are powered by an arcane power cell. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy, and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide.
Wait, I could explain.
There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout.
The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or lantern wouldn't emit a color like that.
Then the witness was clearly mistaken.
The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificery. It must have been an arcane spell.
That's it.
What is it, witness?
I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony.
What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind?
If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him.
And you, Mr. Cuthbert?
If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out.
You'll tear through each of his lies no matter what he does.
I remember now, yesterday, it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mageblade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mageblade.
I'm pretty sure it's a yellow glow, you little shit.
Oh wait, no, the spell's right here.
I'm pretty sure it is yellow?
Yellow, yes.
I see. So the blue light that you saw came from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
With pleasure. Wouldn't that be pretty noticeable and distinct?
The witness is of the common folk. Furthermore, the defendant's magical ability wasn't known to many until the night of the murder. What reason would the witness have to think that he was witnessing magic? He would just think that the sword was wreathed in a glow by some other means.
That last part is a bit far-fetched, but you can't really refute it right now. You seem uncertain about the spell you saw my client use. How can we trust the rest of your testimony?
The witness had no knowledge of the arcane arts, I'll grant you that. But it doesn't matter if he was unable to identify the specific spell. The only thing that matters is that he saw it happen.
You won't get anywhere unless you prove that he didn't see the Mageblade.
That blue glow. Haha, fuck you, bitch. That's wrong.
Objection!
Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you?
Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's Mageblade?
No. I meant that you probably wouldn't know about Mageblade. Oh, hold on. Be right back. But that's exactly where your mistake was.
My mistake?
Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how Mage Blade works, then you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means that the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mage Blade.
This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow. But what significance could such a minor detail have?
It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene.
Preposterous! You don't have any evidence to back up that claim.
That blue line made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his book, and he even specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene?
Well...
Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this.
Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted.
No. Wait, please. Now that's quite enough of that.
Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to the judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves his still flustered Rudolph off the stand and begins addressing the courtroom.
What is he even doing here?
I will not stand by while you harass my servant.
Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand.
And what, pray tell, did they discuss?
Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. And if you have done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene.
For the first time, Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Who is this man?
This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor.
That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house, and in the case I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault.
What do you mean?
You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous.
What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you?
I simply dictated him to what I saw and had him repeat to that law enforcement. It simply won't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court.
Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury.
But from the looks of the judge's face, you can easily tell that you won't face any actual consequences.
I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please let me testify as to what I saw that night.
Well, you're welcome to shoot yourself in the foot, man.
Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, note that this misconduct has hurt your credibility.
Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped in my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with a sword.
Oh, okay, I already saw the contradiction. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility.
That means he's probably a mage, right? And he's the other mage that was there that night. Does that mean...
There's no doubt about it. He's the only person who could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage that we're looking for. Sorry, this must be a lot for you right now.
Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down.
That seems like a strange way to pass the time.
Not that you believe him for a second.
The witness's eccentricities are beside the point. What matters is that he was clearly at the scene.
I wouldn't quite put it that way, but nevertheless.
I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim.
Oh, god damn it, the fucking bot in my chat.
Hold on. Hold on. Be gone, bot. There we go.
One would conclude that, yes.
As we all know, both of them became quite loud during their argument. It's not unreasonable to say that the witness heard them from his carriage.
Stabbing the poor man twice. The victim's there. I'll press him just in case. And I assume you're going to say that she stabbed him from the opposite sides each time?
Of course. Mind you, I have no idea why she would act like that. But you can prove that she didn't do exactly what I described.
I suppose not. At least not dead anyways. Pierce is definitely the real murderer. This means there has to be a lie somewhere in his testimony.
He keeps saying that he stood at the entrance the entire time. If he killed my father, then he would have been further in.
Right. Is there any way you can prove that he was further inside the building? If he's at the tavern entrance, then that means he would be here. Alright. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational. Even if my client was using Mage Blade at the time.
Ah, of course, I've forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene.
You used magic at the crime scene?
Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw.
I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all.
If I had to guess, Oops! If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made the detailed part of his testimony earlier.
That actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyways, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene?
It was the Conjure Light spell.
Conjure Light, Luxo. Okay, duration 1 hour. Concentration, you need to maintain it, okay. For the duration of the spell, a mote of magical light appears in the caster's hand. The color of the light is chosen by the caster. Oh. And can be charged at will for this spell's duration. The mote of the light provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Okay. Ah, I see. Gotcha, bitch. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for his spell companion to be added to the courtroom.
I see no reason to invade this witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell.
I agree. The defense will need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium.
Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station.
Oh, shut up. So, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, there's no way. Wait, do I contradict him with this? Yep.
Objection!
Yeah, there we go, I contradict him with that. I presumed it. Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building.
Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance.
In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we look at this map, that would place you right here where the W is. Am I correct?
Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact.
Well, I found it interesting that you illuminate the crime scene from all the way back there. Considering that conjure light only illuminates an area within 15 feet.
What?
The spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade.
During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help with the illuminate the scene.
But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not?
Well,
I could answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened.
Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was that close where the murder occurred? How would that be possible?
Well, there's only one way that this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy.
hold on for a moment. This is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room.
And which spell would that be, Pierce?
The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one was it, now that I think about it.
You idiot.
Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish your spell compendium to the court.
What? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelwyn, why did you object to this?
If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it.
Steelwyn, you treacherous!
That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must add that Lord Pierce relinquished his spell compendium to the court.
It contains formulas for the following spells: Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. Okay. Yes, classic Prestidigitation. Snap his fingers, duration indefinitely, okay. Simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. Okay. Conjure Water. Acquio. Outstretched Palm. Cause water to magically flow out the caster's hand. The water will flow so long as the caster may say concentration on the spell. Okay. Frost Wave, that's definitely not a D&D spell, but okay. It's it's one of their OG spells, okay. This is this game's OG spell, it seems. Anything covered in the range is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquid's hit will be immediately frozen, and organic life will immediately enter stages of hypothermia. Okay. Shape Liquid. While concentrating, okay. Transmutation, Fig Aqua. When indexing the target indefinitely, yes. While concentrating on the spell, the caster can manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. While frozen, the caster can also choose he must have used this spell to kill him. The killer dad.
Good job, Tyrion. We got a spell compendium.
With that, this case is good as yours. Or is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking a spell compendium. Oh, wait, that's the narrator. She wouldn't even let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. Your Honor, I've looked at all the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell that he can cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false.
You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth.
Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be the suspect of the murder of Flynn Hart McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant.
I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There's much more we need to learn.
What? That's not how it works. We prove that there's a reasonable doubt. There should be enough to acquit me, right?
In a normal case, maybe, but it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case.
What? But that's not fair.
That's just how the system works. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face.
No.
However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect.
Objection!
Oh shit.
A possible suspect? The very idea that is preposterous, Your Honor.
Damn it. You knew she was...
Damn it! You knew she was planning something.
Let's revisit the basic facts of this case, shall we? Flynn McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows?
Alright. The spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frostwave, and Shape Liquid. Ah, shit.
You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object.
What? That can't be right.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder.
I see. With that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer.
But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer.
But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic.
Wait a minute. How did he do it then?
She's right. How did he do it? If there are traces of transmutation on the wound, magic on the wound, then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect a steel blade. Does that mean he used something else?
The defense did cast some doubt on this witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind...
Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime.
What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. You commoner.
Let me double check your spells. Oh wait, no, let me double check the bottle. I was holding this bottle, it contained lotus juice. I'm guessing you probably used shape. Actually, wait, what was this autopsy? Died after being stabbed from behind. Okay. Okay, so he was stabbed from behind, but then how did he shoot? Oh, what liquid did he shoot behind him? Was it conjure water? Did he combo conjure water with? Well, he shot water at him and then shaped it. Yeah, he hit his back. He shot water out, and what? Right after that, he shape liquided it. At his back.
I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade.
He's right. It can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? Ooh, he's getting nervous.
What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime?
Yes, your claim seems to be quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert.
What spell did you use to commit murder? Shape liquid, baby. You see, Your Honor, Gary Pierce didn't kill the very victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword.
Oh shit.
What?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert.
I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Gary Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control the body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape, and a shape like a sword.
What? No. Is it possible that he...
What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce?
What do I have to say?
Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put into a corner like this. You could see the stress and frustration emanating through the eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow.
Time to argue you into hell.
I'll tell you exactly what I have to say to you, you Commodore. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because of that bastard child didn't know their place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened.
I saw the word.
The girl used our holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage.
I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. Well, let me double check. I'm not the one on trial here. Okay. She's just a peasant. She's just learned the arcane arts, and look what happened. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. The girl used our holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. Okay. What evidence do I use for this case? I saw the murder, I witnessed everything. Or do I just use the map? And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have to need to be within 15 feet to see my client would conjure light.
This again? If you want to keep treading on that one detail, then I admit it. I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail on my testimony. All because I knew that you'd use it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce? Lord Pierce.
But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury.
No, I mean... you miserable wretch.
He has openly admitted to conversion. Okay, yeah. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Would she have noticed you? If you were that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. Why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens?
Shut up, you dirty peasant mouth. That woman was armed. I have no reason to put my life in danger.
She was wielding her sword after the murder.
I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger.
She was wielding her sword after the murder. Oh, okay. Crime scene picture. But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding her sword if she left it there?
What? Damn you! Damn you! Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything?
What?
Prosecutor Steelwind has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise.
Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. How could I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. came here to reveal the truth. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney.
I came here to reveal the truth and testify to that criminal. Okay, well, you admitted to committing perjury, bitch. You talk about justice, but you've committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You don't care about justice, you just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shaped liquid and used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it?
Alright.
What?
Lord Pierce?
My apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious.
What? Has he finally lost his mind?
The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it.
And what's that?
I think you said it yourself.
You shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it?
You see, it would have been a perfect crime, because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade.
What? No. He's right. If you used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. Then that means
there'll be nothing left of the murder weapon. You spun quite the tale here today, but in the end you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, don't you? Do you? You have nothing on me.
Isn't there anything we can do?
You become quiet.
Tyrion? Why doesn't he say anything? Is it really hopeless?
But all it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Any worries she has instantly disappears, because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her.
What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost.
I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I'll never let that happen again.
Naught can remain concealed.
Empowered Eye. Ugh, what did I just do?
Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming, but at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity, as if you could see more than you could before.
I can't believe that peasant pushed me this far.
Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But this sensation feels different from how it usually is. It's more intense and potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface-level thoughts.
Empowered Eye. You have activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you will be able to do more than just see into the witness's thoughts. You'll be able to affect what they think about. Also be able to affect what they think about. Project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. Oh wow, so I'm basically using enchantment magic on him. You'll want to project items that make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled, you'll have everything you need to implicate him. The spell.
After all that trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out what spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old fool had that bottle of water with him.
Water from a bottle? Wait, a bottle?
Well then, as riveting as this has been, I believe it's time for me to take my leave.
Now wait a minute, Pierce.
What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear.
Bitch! You're right, Pierce. If you did use shaped liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely.
Ah, it seems you finally gotten through the fact through your thick head. Bravo.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid?
What are you going on about?
Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it?
You show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice.
That bottle.
Pierce, I found the shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of the bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic?
You little... That still proves nothing. So what if there were traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon.
I wasn't finished, Pierce.
What?
You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda.
So? What difference does that make?
A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue.
No, it can't be.
I wonder why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked out the outline of that trace, I bet we found a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. And that's checkmate.
Bailiff, tell Orem to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time the window to find traces of magic is closing.
So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines exactly with the outline of the trace of transmutation magic. We checked the broken bottle too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda.
I see. Thank you, Orem. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand.
What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce?
What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him.
Objection!
Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell.
Tyrion?
First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest that you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further.
What? You can't be serious.
Shut your insidious mouth.
Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away.
Yes, take him away at once.
I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion,
It's all she can do to hold back her tears.
You don't need to say anything. Your face says it all.
Thank you. You've more than exceeded my expectations today.
Mr. Mora,
I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around.
it was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for.
It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used, and you did it by just looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me.
That's not exactly true. But with Celestia, you can't tell her about your new ability.
You were all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker.
Hound of the Eye Taker. Wait, what did she mean by that?
You glance at Miss Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing, almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye.
I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary.
Thank you?
Is this some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your actions almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as intended. Ha! Working as intended? You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know.
What?
In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert.
What a strange girl.
Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh? What did you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone over there have enough gold.
Wait, do we have enough gold?
Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything.
Wait, just how much money does Mr. Tomorrow make? And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is run to its core, and I have many trials ahead. Regardless, I keep fighting on and get justice from every one of my clients. For every one of my clients. Hey, episode end.
This feeling, I knew it. His radiant soul has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. I can't wait for the day when I can see his eyes draped in agony.
Okay, sweet. Okay. It's kind of weird that the case doesn't... That you can start with any of the cases. Because it seems like none of these cases are locked by progression, so it's kind of weird that you can start from literally any point in the story. So it's really weird. But I'll still continue by chronological order, so yeah. Anyway, I think that'll be it for the stream. I think from now on I'll probably be doing one case per stream, depending on how long the cases are. And of course, if they're going to be longer than the last case, then it'll probably be like a two-parter or something like that. So, farewell for now. Until the next stream.